Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for tuning in to what's going to be an unbagging and review of all the products that came inside my February Ipsy bag and my February Play by Sephora bag. If you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome, and second of all, the way I like to do these is not only show you what came inside each of these, but also I've had a chance to kind of test them out over the past few days. Nothing super extensive, but enough to form some rough thoughts. So I don't only like to give mini reviews of these products, but I also show you how I use them in the video as well. So let's go ahead and dive in. First, starting with the Ipsy bag. So this month it is denim with a little neon piping around the outside and a neon orange interior as well. I want to start with a nail polish because if you know me, you know I just don't paint my nails. I wear press-ons pretty much all the time. Rarely paint my nails, and so although this is a gorgeous periwinkle from the brand Trust Fund Beauty in the shade I Give Good Tweet, I just probably won't wear this, and I haven't even opened it just because so that I can give it to somebody else and they'll have a fresh bottle of polish. But yeah, unfortunately I can't comment on the formula because I just don't paint my nails all that often. Press-on nails for life. Up next is an eyeshadow. This is from the brand Hikari, and this is actually a cream pigment that I was so intrigued when I first saw it because you open it up, if I can open it up, it's in this kind of plastic sort of packaging here. Open it up and it's this beautiful rich bronze shade, like high shine metallic. You can tell there's going to be some serious pigment there, and there is. You swatch it, it's gorgeous. You put it on the eyes, it's gorgeous, but cream pigment ain't no joke. It has a very creamy texture, very similar to the Makeup Geek foiled shadows where you can tell there's like an oil, not base, but there's oil in there to help them feel so creamy. As a result, this is not to be worn alone. You definitely need a base under it because as you can see in the before and after here, all day wear is not a strong suit for this shadow. It definitely creased and faded and moved around, so you have to wear a primer under this bad boy. That being said though, beautiful pigmentation, super high impact pigment, and just this like metallic, like truly metallic sheen when you build it up. Really beautiful. Happy I had a chance to try that this month. Then there is a lipstick from NYX. This is a good old butter lipstick. I'm very familiar with this formula. This is in the shade, what shade is it? Lifeguard. It's kind of a brown toned red, which actually I will say it looks far more brown in the tube when I actually apply it. So something to consider with this guy, but the formula is consistent with all the butter lipsticks I've tried. Very smooth, creamy, hydrating on the lips, really comfortable to wear. Not super long wearing because it is like a really pigmented balm almost is the kind of texture you get. So it does transfer, it comes off relatively quickly on me, but it's still a nice comfortable lipstick formula and pretty affordable. There's also a brush in this bag, but it is in my to clean pile, which is a massive mountain that I don't dare dig through right now. Basically, it's a Luxie Beauty brush. These come in Ipsy bags pretty frequently. This is a blush brush. It's the, hold on, let me look. It's the 514 brush, and so you can see me using it. It's not my favorite blush brush format. I prefer shorter bristles, shorter fibers, shorter hairs. Not really sure what the actual term is. You get the idea though. I like them shorter, a little bit more compact. For me, this was more of a powder brush, is like an all over setting powder, an under eye setting powder sort of thing. Because blush, I just like something a little bit smaller so I can be more precise with where I'm putting that color on my cheeks rather than just like large scale buffing, which is more so what that brush with the Luxie Beauty brush that came in this bag is for me. And last up is a perfume. This is a sample size, deluxe sample because it's pretty big, from the brand Kenzie, and I think that's what the perfume is called. When I looked on the Ipsy website, it just says Kenzie Deluxe Size Spray Sample, and I am not great at describing scents, so I'm gonna read what they say on the site. It says, feminine but modern, it's a new take on a girly girl fragrance. Fruity top notes like peach and mandarin mix perfectly with floral, rose, and jasmine, and then dried down is woody, adding a little masculinity and edge. Basically, this is my jam. I love sweet perfumes that have like musky, kind of more masculine, I guess, base. This is my jam, and when I first smelled it, it reminded me of something. It reminded me of a perfume I already own because I've already said this tends to be the scent I gravitate towards, and sure enough, I was sniffing around in my collection, very similar to Katy Perry's Killer Queen perfume. Really love, obviously, I've already made a pretty sizable dent in this, but very similar. I would say that Killer Queen lacks the fruitier scents than the Kenzie, but very similar in the floral top notes and the woodsy dry or lower notes, or however it is that works in fragrance. Very similar, these two. Not identical by any means. If you're very particular with your fragrance, I don't think you'll think these are dupes for each other, but very, very similar in case you were wondering. Overall, I really liked the Ipsy bag this month, even though I won't get so much good out of the nail polish. I do think I will out of everything else. There were lots of great full sizes in there, so definitely lots of value for the 10 bucks a month. Now onto the Play by Sephora, which comes in this very luxe feeling rose satin bag. The theme this month is the softer side, although the bag itself says smitten, so I'm not sure what that is about, but really impressed with how all these products kind of jive together, and really love, I'm wearing a lot of them today right now to create this kind of soft everyday look. Really like how they perform, but we'll get more into that. So for starters, let's kind of go in order that I applied them today. Starting with skincare, there is an all-over moisturizer. This one is the Clinique Pep Start Hydro Blur Moisturizer. This kind of took me by surprise. I was like, whatever, another moisturizer. But this one has a thicker consistency. You can see when I put it on the back of my hand, it's almost not quite a paste, like it's not sticky or anything, but it was not the thin moisturizer I'm so used to trying from a lot of brands, and so I was a little concerned it wouldn't sink into my skin as readily as I would want it to, but really pleased to say that it's spread out really smooth and evenly, sunk in quickly, left my skin feeling balanced and not like overly hydrated. Sometimes those thinner moisturizers will just feel like they sit on top of my skin, and then I'm left with like this sheen that I just know is going to make my foundation melt away in like 2 hours. Not with this one. So I really like that, but I will say I didn't notice any sort of blurring action because it is called Hydro Blur. No blurring here, but I do like the way it felt on my skin. Then there is the Origins Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream to brighten and depuff. This is a little bit thinner. You can definitely see there are some pearlescent pigments in here for that brightening action. As far as depuffing goes, I don't tend to have a lot of issues with puffy under eyes. It's more so discoloration, like the blues and purples that when I'm tired or have allergies or things like that tend to creep up in my inner corner. I didn't notice this so much affecting that. Like, it illuminated my under eye with those pearl pigments, but I definitely didn't notice it easing those dark circles there. Still, it felt nice and doesn't make my under eye makeup budge, so there is something to be said for that. Up next is a gloss, and even though I would typically apply this at the end of the look as kind of finishing touch, this is a plumping gloss, so I wanted to apply it midway through the makeup look to give it enough time to work on my lips and actually plump them. So this is the Too Faced Lip Injection Glossy in the color Milkshake, and it's not my first time trying this. I got this in either a Play by Sephora or maybe an Ipsy, the Lip Injection Extreme. So I'm not new to this type of product from Too Faced. They are slightly different though. The Lip Injection has a much more toned down scent and formula. This is like a barely there kind of sweet scent. Sweet candy. I mean, it really is barely there. Whereas the Lip Injection Extreme is like very sweet, very fruity, very artificial smelling, like a lot of other lip glosses you might have tried. But this guy is a lot more natural, and the sensation with this is kind of a slow burn. It's hard, I mean, it's probably not pleasant sounding, but we all know, or if we've tried plumping lip glosses, we all know there is some sort of stimulation that goes along with these, whether it's peppermint or cinnamon or some ingredient that basically stimulates blood flow to ultimately plump the appearance of your lips. There's gonna be some of that, and so this I would say is relatively minor. You do get more used to it. I'd say it was kind of extreme the first time I used it, but the more I incorporate this now, the less I notice the tingling. Definitely brings that stimulation, brings the blood and the color back into my lips, so that kind of fakes the appearance of having them look bigger, but it's not like lip injection big, and probably nothing I couldn't fake with a lip liner already. But that said, if I didn't want to use a lip liner, this might be a good alternative. It's not something I'd say you have to have, but it's good if you're looking for a gloss that brings that extra color back to your lips and kind of fakes the appearance of larger looking lips a little bit. Now there is what might be my favorite product here. It is the Bite Multi-Stick in the shade Cashew. I tried one of these like back in September. I bought one from Sephora and included it in a haul, showed me using it. It was a pinkier shade sort of though, had some brown tones underneath, but because it was so pink, it was much better for my lips and cheeks, and I didn't really get a chance to use it on my eyes. This, however, Cashew, is a gorgeous, it's almost exactly the opposite, where it's more a dusty rosy brown, but those rose tones make it just flattering enough to wear it on my lips. Not that I'm opposed to wearing a great 90s brown on my lips, but this just has a hint of pink in it to make it a little bit softer, and it also, those heavy brown tones or heavier earthy brown tones make it better for me to use on my eyes than the other one that I bought earlier in or later in last year. Needless to say, really like this guy. I'm wearing it on my eyes. I just applied it directly, smudged it out with my finger, and then went back into my crease with a fluffy brush, with a clean brush, just to help blend that crease out a little bit. Really like just the monotone look it created on the eyes, and then I applied it on my lips too, wiped that gloss off, then went back in to apply the multi-stick, and then went back over it with gloss as well, which is why I have a glossy lip right now. But I just love the monochromatic look between the eyes and the lips. It's a really flattering color, and it really doesn't even look like I'm wearing the same color, I don't feel like, on my eyes and my lips. They look slightly different, but still matching. Like, well coordinated, but not identical. Needless to say, love this color, love this formula. I think this is a really cool product from Bite. Next up is mascara. This is the Sephora Lash Craft Length and Volume Mascara. Full size retails for $12, which I think is a great deal considering how expensive some drugstore mascaras are getting. So this is a unique wand. I don't know what kind of witchcraft it works, but it's basically like a squished mascara wand. On the profile it looks like, or I guess head on, it looks like a rectangle, but on the profile it looks like longer on one end, shorter on the other. I think one might function to add the product, whereas then when you twist it, the longer fibers distribute the product across the lashes. Not really sure. All I can tell you is it really works for me. So it promises to lengthen in volume, separate and define, keep your lashes lifted all day long, and offers smudge-proof wear. Totally smudge-proof, didn't notice any flaking or smudging throughout the day. It lengthened. I wouldn't say it volumized my lashes so as much as I typically would like, but I also tend to notice there's a compromise between volumizing my lash. Like, there's only so much you can do with your lashes. It either looks really dense and as a result a little clumpy and less defined and less lengthened. They get a little shorter or appear a little shorter and stubbier, or vice versa. You get lots of length and separation, but it looks like you have less lashes. So I thought this was a great compromise for my lashes, even though I typically look for volume. It lengthened and really lifted my lashes. I love what it did for them, and it did last all day. Like, I noticed the curl, not just the formula itself without flaking or smudging, but the shape that it created for my lashes lasts all day. Will definitely consider buying this whenever I'm done using whatever mascara I'm using, because it's such a good deal and it really, really worked on my lashes. Last up is a perfume. This is the Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. And again, I have to reference the sheet that I get for the notes. Meet the blend. It says fragrance family, fresh, which I would totally agree. It's very light feeling, but it does have some sharper notes in there. So it looks like the top notes are Italian bergamot, middle notes are lemon and lavender, and then base notes neroli. I have no idea what neroli is, but either way, it's kind of a complex fragrance for me, I guess, in that way, because it smells so soft and sweet at first, but then has kind of a sharpness that comes in later. Really like it. I wouldn't say I like it as much as the one that I got in my Ipsy bag, but I just really, really like those sweet / musky scents, and this is a little bit more herbal, not really herbal, kind of has like lavender and the bergamot, and so good, but just a little different. And that's everything in my Play by Sephora bag. I have to say, pretty impressed with both this month. Ipsy offered a great value, lots of great full-size products to try, but Sephora, even though they're sample size, I really liked all the products that I got there, so much so that I would consider buying the full size, like that Bite Beauty Stick and Cashew, if and when I run out of it. Would definitely repurchase that, as well as the mascara. I just really liked how those products performed on me. So overall, lots of wins this month. I'd love to hear what subscriptions you guys are getting, the products you're getting, if you're loving them, leaving them, whatever the case may be. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.